Mm, damn. I love my coffee. Hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. I think that we're actually live streaming. Tampa Bay just tied up the score 7-7. So we've got some hope. We've got some hope. I want to thank everybody already. I'm amazed, guys. You guys literally are a high for me, man. The fact that we did almost 3,000 people last night watching me literally have a heart attack is just unbelievable. The fact that you guys are here waiting for the broadcast, it just makes me feel special. I appreciate this, man. This channel has grown so much more than I ever thought it would, and I appreciate it. When I started out, it was never trying to do what we're doing right now. It was about me sharing some of the experiences that I have and that I've been able to have. Aloha from Hawaii. Oh, man. We'd all wish we were there with you. I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I got the TV back too far. Aloha, something aloha, cinnamon or something or other. Forgive me, I'm a name butcher. But I never dreamed that we would have almost 17,000 subscribers and people watching all over the world. So shout out to each and every one of you guys. Whew. Have you guys recovered from last night? Literally, if you saw the live stream, I was dying. I didn't want to give up hope. I was literally sitting on the edge of my seat. But so many times last night, I felt like, oh, here we go. You know, when we used to have that feeling that how are we going to screw up a game? We started out able to run the ball. Things looked smooth, you know, in the first half. But then you worry about what's going to happen in the second half. You know, we always choose to take the ball in the beginning of games. And every time I'm just kind of like, maybe we should go ahead and defer. Because it seems like the end of every single half is the other team having the ball, and then they're coming out in the second half again. And that's where we get changes in swings. The other team will come through, get a field goal, get a touchdown before half, and then they come right back. They got the ball again. All of a sudden, you're down 14 points. It's 7-7 right now in the game. Let me double check, but Atlanta already scored first drive, so maybe 7 right now with a minute 52 left in the I've got the game on over here above the bar. So, hey, there's hope. Whew. I did something last night that I'm not proud of. Be careful, somebody is trying to get me banned. Mark got hit with a bot last night. Hold it. I got hit with a viewer bot last night. I'm not sure what a viewer bot is. A viewer bot? Okay. I know I had a lot of people that were on here last night that were saying nigger and F you and this, that, and the other. So I banned a bunch of people last night from the broadcast. But there was nothing I did or said that was out of context. I didn't show the game or anything like that. You know, there's always going to be haters out there. But last night I did something I wasn't proud of. And while I get Joe Boo's refill, I'll tell you exactly what it was. When that game looked like, I'm going to steal a little of yours, Joe Boo, here in my coffee. When that game looked like it was in doubt, when it was 3rd down and goal to go, seconds left on the clock, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh man, I can't take this anymore. And I saw Joe Boo's rum. And you know that Joe Boo has this special bottle up here of Ron Zappa Grand Reserva. It's like 25-year-old rum. I kind of said, Joe Boo, I'm stealing your rum. And I took it, did a shot of it, and lo and behold, Derek Carr ended up fumbling. Everything Keith Smith is Cowboy Joe Boo. If you look for Cowboy Joe Boo on Twitter, Cowboy Joe Boo on Facebook, Cowboy Joe Boo on Instagram, that's where I am. So just remember, Cowboy Joe Boo, and you can find me. Although I don't post a whole lot to Facebook like I used to. It used to be when I first started out that I was doing everything on Facebook, which was great. You know, you reach a whole lot of people and stuff, but it doesn't do much for you. At least with YouTube, you get a little bit of money, revenue and stuff, and with that revenue, I've been using it to upgrade. If you guys have been following this channel for any length of time, you know that, the replica locker here and the desk, sports desk, bought a new camera system, new microphone. So I put the money back into this to try and take it up another step. And this off season, I'm going to actually redo this and make this like a true soundstage and photo studio here to really kind of take it up to another level for next season. And speaking of that, I want to give a shout out to forgive me, I'm a name butcher, to Brittany Almanzea, okay, because she donated to help out with the upgrades and stuff on here. And so what we're going to do, anybody who does a super chat for $10 or more, or goes to the little PayPal button that's on the top of the channel or on my website, cowboyjoeboo.com, and donates, we're going to do a drawing next week right here, something that those Eagle fans don't know anything about. But Jay Novacek, this is a signed Jay Novacek helmet that says 3-time, so uno, dos, tres, 3-time Super Bowl champion. So next Monday night, we're going to actually pull a name out of here. So as we're going to put your name in here, we're going to pull that out, and we're going to send that to the winner. So Brittany Almanzea, forgive me if I, Jag the Jester. That's how it's spelled. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but she's the first one to go ahead and get in there. So if you want to help out, we're going to put the money towards upgrading the computer so we get away from, bad video and stuff, because I really want this to be a true broadcast. So many of you guys say that this is your ESPN. I plan on being better than ESPN, because you won't find the president of us leaving for drug use, okay? Thank you, Dak Green. Shout out to all you people who've already tuned in. Benjamin, Scrappy B, Boomer Sooner. I know Virginia Finest and was in here early before the show even started. Dynamite Thompson, seeing a lot of new names. Joshua, DeQuarlis, Bry, Darren Lewis, Dennis Smith, Dustin Diaz, Mr. Chips, Snap Johnson, Robert, Jag the Jester. Man, you guys lucked out. Congratulations on getting in the playoffs with my boy Calais Campbell. I've got something special coming up about a week and a half for you, Jag the Jester, and I'll be sure to make sure I include you in it. Virginia Finest, Brian, Jerry, Jackass, Jeff, Michael. Boy, I'm really blurry tonight. Freedom Guru, Angela, Albert, Marcelo, Lewis, geez, Davey, Brian, Robert. There's too many. Freedom Guru. Geez, there's a whole lot of you people here tonight. So shout out to all you guys for joining us. Okay, so we have the return of Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott looks to be in fantastic shape. Don't get it wrong. There's physical shape, like you're a marathoner and stuff, and then there's football shape. You need to have those hits and stuff and all that to truly be in football shape. My problem. We're winning all that, so people are back to saying Jason Garrett's a good coach and this, that, and the other, but I still am not a big fan of Jason Garrett. Sorry, I'm not. And for all you guys that think that I keep wearing Jason Garrett's jersey, it's not. It's Cowboy Joe Boo for the 17th season. But I looked at that game last night, and there was, to me, play calling was questionable. And I know the Jason Garrett defenders will say, well, he doesn't call the plays. It's Scott Linehan. Well, if you're the head coach, it's like being a CEO of a company. A CEO of a company, he doesn't make the sausage, but he makes sure that the sausage gets made. So his job is to put people in positions to succeed and get the job done. And if they're not doing the job right, his job is to say, hey, that's too much sage in the damn sausage. It's not enough hot peppers chopped up in the sausage. It's too mild. You understand what I'm saying? And that needs to be Jason Garrett. You got to look and say, oh, you can't just say, okay, I'm not calling the plays, so it's not on me. No, you're the head freaking coach. You need to take responsibility. And it's your job, or it should be. I guess it's not really his job on the line because Jason Garrett, well, he's been here, no matter what happens. So we get Zeke back. And here's Jason Garrett's response to having Zeke back, okay? Cowboys, of course, removed him off of the reserve list, so he's back on the roster. They released Trey Williams, the running back. So Jason Garrett was not ready to commit Monday on how the Cowboys will use Ezekiel Elliott in the final 2 games. What? You don't know how you're going to use Zeke Elliott? His quote, "Just have to wait and see," Garrett said. "Got to see how he is. Got to see how he practices, how the week goes on." At this time of year, everybody's beat the hell up. Everybody is a walking wounded player. Tyron Smith will probably play this week, but Tyron Smith's got a bad back. He's got an ankle issue, and now he's got a knee problem. Everybody's slowed down. Zeke Elliott has been in Cabo, nice weather, nice and warm, working his ass off, hasn't been hit in 6 freaking weeks. If for no other reason is he's healthy, you're going to put him in there. And you're going to run him until his legs fall the F off. It's not that difficult. Just have to wait and see. When a lot of you guys said that, you're not a real fan because you were actually rooting for the Cowboys to lose. Yeah, when we went through historically 3 bad games where we couldn't bust a grape, and it looked like the season was pretty much not going to be a wash, I was on the fence of saying maybe the best thing is our team to just lose. Maybe, just maybe, if we lose bad enough, we can end the nightmare of Jason Garrett. Maybe it'll be such rock bottom that Jerry Jones will say, you know what, I got to do something else. What I've been doing for the last 22 years isn't working. We need to get another coach in here. That was my hope. That and higher draft picks. So in looking at it from that standpoint, I was looking at the long route, not just a couple of games here and there. I was looking at what's going to be best for this team long term. And Jason Garrett, I don't think is the guy. I just don't think he is going to get us a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Some of you guys can disagree because a lot of you guys say it's Jason Garrett. Oh, we won these last couple of games because Jason Garrett. No, it was the punter that decided, you know what? I'm going for it. It wasn't called. It wasn't the coach said, you know what? It wasn't like in the Super Bowl for the Saints where Sean Payton said, we're going to onside kick it. They're not going to be looking for it. It wasn't Jason Garrett saying, we're going to go ahead and go for it. It was the punter, saw a soft spot, actually a whole lot of green, and said, you know what? F you, Joe Boo. I'm going for it. And it was that initiative that changed that game. The fact that he freelanced. It wasn't Jason Garrett. So that's my trepidation on Jason. So when we hear him say we don't know how we're going to use Zeke Elliott, come on, man. You know you're going to be running him till his legs fall off. Now on to the Philadelphia stinking Eagles, just for a moment. You Eagle fans, I'm trying to understand you guys. You guys are on this channel constantly. I say anything about the Eagles, you guys are going to jump. You guys are literally wrapped around my finger like a Super Bowl ring. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Super Bowl ring? I didn't mean that. But literally, I passed on some knowledge about Carson Wentz. the fact that he just had ACL surgery, which is a 9 to 12 month recovery time, and said apparently there's IT damage as well as the ACL, which may put that recovery off a little longer. It may be more work that he's got to do to truly get back and get back right. Because you don't want to pull an RG3 where he came back too soon and it really stunted the rest of his career. He couldn't run like he used to. So I put that out there, and lo and behold, you Eagle fans are just like, boom, all over me. You're an idiot. He's going to be ready for week 1. You're a liar, blah, blah, blah. You know, Eagles fans, I got you. I got you hooked so I can make you guys do whatever I want. You guys are just waiting and hoping I say something about your Eagles. I don't get it. Why do you worry about what a Homer Cowboy fan thinks? I'm not ESPN. I'm not NFL Network. I'm a guy, 52 years old, with a voodoo doll doing broadcasts from my basement. Yet, I say something, it screws you guys mentally. Now, here's what's interesting after yesterday, that you let Eli Manning look like Peyton Manning in his heyday, letting Eli Manning throw for 424 yards, a guy who was just benched 2 weeks ago, snuck out and got a win against the New York stinking Giants. Doug Peterson basically said today, I think we're going to rest players for the rest of the season. And that kind of put in my head, well, one, deja vu from last year for our Cowboys, and I don't believe in resting players because you're talking about now 2 regular season games you're not playing, then you're talking about a bye week. It's hard to go in cold and start playing, as we know, because whenever we've been a top seed and had a bye week, we don't do jack. But Peterson is talking about resting players now for the rest of the season. And I'm wondering if it's because after having that game against the New York stinking Giants, the team that right now is sitting number 2 in the draft position, if he's a little worried about being exposed a little bit more, worrying about losing that edge, because all of a sudden you start questioning yourselves when you let Eli Manning throw for 3 touchdowns and 424 yards. At least that's my thought. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but I'm sure we'll hear from you Eagle fans and who'll tell me how stupid I am. But, yeah, we'll see how that's going to work out for you guys. And I see my son Michael is back, and fortunately,
index card won us that game.
As Michael put it, an index card won us that game. Oh, Lord. Yes, I'm going to be hearing it from Michael about Jeff Heath. Yes.
Came around this year, so he can't.
Okay, yes, Jeff Heath leads the team in interception. Yes, Jeff Heath had a fantastic play. Okay.
Get back to your show.
Lieutenant Mathis Jr., we really love you guys deep down. Yeah, we do. We love you, Eagles. But not all, don't get me wrong, not all of you Eagle fans are assholes. Okay? There are some really good ones, and I know we've got some asshole ones on our side. You know, it's kind of like I tell people as far as race goes, you can't judge somebody and put everybody in one category who's black and say everybody black is this or everybody white is that, because I know white people that are the best people in the world, and I know some that just aren't worth shit. And I can say the same thing about black people. I got to know some great black people, and I know some that just aren't worth shit. And that is what everybody is, every group of people. That's why you got to judge people on their own merits individually. Okay, so I've got some great Eagle fans out there, like Lieutenant Mathers. He's a great fan, and I've got the dogs in here having fun. Okay, we got a few haters that are in here. No, I'm not going to get Jeff Heath first. I'm sorry. You'd say Carr won us that game. Yeah, well, there's a couple of people that took care of that game. I'm going to have to do something with the dogs here because my son just put them down here and they're happy to see him. Jeff Heath, hero of the game. Right now, Tampa Bay's down 14-7, so Hold on for just 1 second here. Got to take care of the doggies because they're having a fit. Okay, chill, guys. Okay, I'm trying to do a broadcast, so chill, dogs. Okay. My son took one of his dogs with him, and the other dog stayed here, so he was all lonely. So now that they've come back, they're all happy and partying and everything else. So forgive me. Okay, I am back. And looks like Tampa Bay is trying to hang into this game. I believe they just actually had a really big play and got a penalty on top of it. It would be nice if Jameis would, yeah, I let the dog, yeah. Who let the dogs out? I just let the dogs out. I wonder if Winston is eating another W today. Well, we can only hope, because here's what we need, guys. Bottom line, if we are to make the playoffs, we have to beat Seattle. And Seattle got their lunch handed to them by the Rams. The Legion of Boom is not the Legion of Boom right now. That defense of theirs is not good. We get the boost from Zeke Elliott. And then, who let the dogs out? I let the dogs out. And then we have the Eagles, which will probably be resting everybody. Those games are winnable. That's what we can control. But we need either the Panthers to lose 2 games or the Falcons to lose 2 games. Now, the Panthers have Tampa Bay next week, and they have the Falcons. I'm not sure that they're going to lose to Tampa Bay, but it's football. Anything can happen. Anybody can beat you. Right now, Tampa Bay is at least hanging with Atlanta. Atlanta, of course, has Tampa Bay tonight. They've got the Saints in New Orleans next week, and that could be big because it could be that the Saints are still fighting for a playoff spot themselves as well to kind of hold position and seeding. And then they play the Panthers. And it could be that the Panthers are also playing for that playoff spot. So it just depends on who's playing and needs a victory. The Packers, as long as we win our next 2 games, we're past the Packers. The Lions are the other problem. The Lions are the ones I worry about the most because they play the Bungles, who are getting rid of Marvin Lewis, and they play the Packers, who, in which case, may have nothing to play for. So that's going to be kind of tough right there. So that's what we need. Yeah, I'm going to have to steal more of Joe Boo's rum more often. Yeah, I'm sure my liver will be happy about that. Jeff Heath is definitely good. Jackie, how are you doing tonight? And everybody, Saturday was Jackie's birthday. Excuse me, Saturday was Jackie's birthday. We had a little cake for her, but unfortunately, she was out partying and didn't get the cake. They didn't get to see her cake. Okay, Jets. That's kind of cold there, but okay. Lions going to win out. That's possible. Packers are trash. Well, Aaron Rodgers had flashes of Aaron Rodgers last week, but he also had some rust. You know, he might get better this week. You know, he took a couple of shots there where you could tell he was wincing in pain. Green Bay needs to help us. Well, yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it have been nice if we had helped ourselves and beat Green Bay? We wouldn't be in this position. Dallas is done. I've heard, you know what? I've heard that for so long that the Cowboys are done. But here's the thing. Maybe we win the next 2 games and don't make it to the playoffs. Okay. But at least we have hope. At least we have something to look forward to. At least last night we were on the edge of our seats, excited about a freaking game, living and dying like it was a playoff game, because in essence it was. Next week's the same thing. We take on Seattle, another team that's fighting for a playoff spot. It's a playoff game. And instead of saying we got no chance, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy myself just like I did this week. So if you choose to say the season's done, well, go ahead. Go someplace, pout in the corner, be sad that the season's done. Because I'm going to enjoy the rest of this season. I'm going to enjoy the playoffs all the way through the Super Bowl. And the Joe Boo Sports Report, we're going to be there through the playoffs, through the Super Bowl. We're going to still be reporting, and then we're going to start working on getting ourselves together for next season. We're going to figure out what went wrong, what we need to do to try and fix this thing. Not that Jerry Jones is listening, but we're going to continue to enjoy ourselves with it. So if you don't want to, That's fine. People are sleeping on our DBs. Yeah, you know, we've got some talent. We've got some young guys that can step up. I still believe we need a good safety in the draft. Jordan Lewis made that one play down there, which I thought was the end of the game, where we had pass interference. Kind of got out of position a bit there, but you know, they're learning under fire, and I'm happy to have those guys in this deal with Morris, Claiborne breaking down every couple of games and things. At least I look at these guys and say, okay, they're young, they have time, and they can go ahead and grow. Brandon Carr was not going to change much more. You got the best of Brandon Carr. From here on out, it's going downhill because of age. Morris Claiborne, you know, a guy whose growth was always stunning because he was always injured. I'm okay with starting all over. It's just we got a lot of growing pains, and you need these guys to grow together. As far as Tampa Bay's still driving. As far as we start looking at next year, the good thing is right now you've got a young quarterback, you've got a young running back, you have a mostly young offensive line. There's some worry, of course, about Tyron Smith in the back, but you have a young offense that can grow together and achieve and get better and better. We've got some pieces we're going to need to do some stuff with. We're going to need a tight end. We're going to need a wide receiver. I still believe we need a game breaker. Dez Bryant is good in spots, but Dez Bryant isn't consistent anymore that can really just open up the field. He made a great play, came back for the ball, made a move, got upfield, you know, when we needed it, but it's more the exception than the rule right now. Did I mention that Eagles have 0 rings? Yeah, that's a funny thing. And the thing that I always love so much about the Eagles is when you bring up that they have 0 rings, they'll tell you that they have world championships. And I'll tell you that, well, guess what? The Cleveland Browns have 8 of those world championships, and the Detroit Lions have 4. So why you guys only have 3? So that's how you handle the Eagles. And if I had some more time, I've got so much stuff that I want to do. I've got this video in mind that I'm going to be doing. Just have not had time to go ahead and do the production because it's a whole lot of different things put together, but it will be funny. Tampa Bay is falling apart. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to keep up with the game and keep up with the live stream here. They're down by 2 touchdowns. They just had, they turn the ball over?
No, it was 14-7 last I looked.
I thought you said they were down by 2 touchdowns.
No, I said they were down by 1.
Oh, okay, right, they're driving, okay. Do I really believe we'll be able to beat Seattle? Yes. Yeah, I think we can beat Seattle. I know we're playing at home, not that we've been playing well at home, but I think that with the boost of Zeke Elliott coming back, having the 3-game win streak, having new life, I think we got a good chance to win that game. I think Seattle is just beat up. Seattle has a lot of injuries. The big question will be is how will Hitchens be? How will Tyron Smith be? Yeah, Brian, that's what I thought. I was looking up there before because Michael said that they were down by 2 touchdowns.
I said they were about down by 1.
Yeah, but they're driving. They're on they're moving the ball at least.
14-7 last I looked.
At least, you know what? They're not getting blown out like we did. Up, so super chat. Okay. With this setup, I can't see super chats. I'm sorry. Shout out to anybody that did super chats. I'll check on those later. Any super chats that you do, will go into our drawing pot. So next week we'll end up drawing on there. And if you want to do a super chat, then great. I appreciate that. We're going to work on getting some new equipment before the end of the year. I want to have that ready just in case we're in the playoffs. Or if you want to go ahead and donate to get part of the raffle here, the PayPal P is up there by the YouTube, excuse me, up on top of the YouTube channel and right by the Twitter logo. Okay, it is 3rd and 4 for Tampa, and nice catch. Okay. Right now, Tampa Bay is driving. So, you know, if there were a game, if we could get this game, that would change so much because then Atlanta has the Saints and the Packers. So, everybody, tonight we're all Buccaneers fans, okay? We're all rooting for Tampa. Oh, boy. Jassim's got it. We got how you feel about what you want the Eagles to do with Joe Boo. Okay. Bucks, Bucks, Bucks. We will beat Seattle. I think we got a great chance against Seattle. Um, Die Eagles die. Cry. I like that. We'll have to definitely get that on there. Let's move on. Lieutenant Mathers. Oh, come on, Lieutenant Mathers. We're just, look, we kid because we love, man. Come on, man. As much crap as I've taken from some of these Eagles out there, man, you know I've got to go ahead and give it back. That dude has pickled paws for hands, bro. When is the raffle? Billy, here's what we're going to do. Every Monday night, 9:30 is what we'll do. We'll go ahead and do a drawing. So anybody who ends up donating to the channel and all that, the score is 14-7 with Tampa Bay driving. Atlanta's up. Got a Winston jersey on. So we're going to auction up this one, not auction, excuse me, raffle this one off next Monday. The following week, I think we're going to do the Charles Haley, Joe Boots autographed jersey, and so on. So that way, instead of people just giving to me, I'm trying to give something back as well. Yeah, I hope, you know what, I hope that Zeke wins that bet with Eric Dickerson for 200 yards. That would be fantastic. Yeah, well, he definitely looks like it. Okay, so they Atlanta challenged, and I guess it wasn't overturned, so they just lost the timeout. Okay, Darren Lewis, Dez Bryant, Dak Prescott, and Ezekiel Elliott will be training Cabo in 2 weeks. Okay, so you say. We need to get rid of David. I wish we could get rid of Jason Garrett, but unfortunately, because the team turned around, the whole thing is Jason Garrett righted the ship. You know, he made it without Zeke Elliott, and we came that close to making the playoffs. We don't. See, Turtle, you're dead, right? Okay. The Eagles can. Oh wow, Eagles can borrow one of our 5 rings. No, they can't. Uh oh. Tampa Bay is actually playing like they're playing for something. They're inside the red zone right now, guys. What's happening, Corey? Dak and Zeke won Garrett Coach of the Year. I have to agree with that. Hey, Jackie, Zeke looked great today. Yeah, he definitely looks like he's a man on a mission. I think he didn't do the Tony Romo route when he went to Mexico. He definitely worked his ass off. Yeah, Irving's still in the concussion protocol. We don't know anything yet because today is basically treatment day. Tomorrow is their day off, and then we'll start hearing on Wednesday. No, I'm not hating on Jeff Heath. Like I said, I gave Jeff Heath a game ball last week. I still think Jeff Heath is better on special teams and in spot duty. Put him on the nickel package. I don't believe that he's an every down safety. I'm sorry, I just don't. But he does play well. He does seem to have a nose for the ball and being at the right place at the right time sometimes. So yes, he came up with a great play. Cowboys legend, dude. What is your beef? I mean, seriously, you come on here, and it's so funny because I look at your channel, and you're sitting there talking about me giving up on the Cowboys, yet you were talking about bringing in different coaches for the Cowboys to replace Jason Garrett. So it sounds like to me you are hating the same way that you're claiming that I am. So, you know, if your whole thing is you think I'm a fraud, you think I'm a bandwagon fan, why are you here? Feel free not to watch, because I believe you're just trying to get me into a little street fight here to try and get a little bit of plug to get your channel going. I got no problem if you want me to try and help you promote your channel and stuff, but don't go about it and try and make me look like an idiot and think that I'm going to help you. Cowboys are done. Okay, well, I'm going to choose to continue to hope. You know, here, Virginia Finest, here's the thing. I don't like to block people. I believe People have a right to say what they want to think, even if they don't agree with me. And I'll let people say what they want to within reasons. But when people start going after other people directly, or people start using a whole lot of language, that's not what I want in here. Because to me, this channel is football, and it's about all of us talking football, and that's why I think we have so many different fans of other teams and stuff, because I'm not just hating on people like that. I like having the real conversations. I like to debate people, okay? If you want to say the Cowboys suck, give me a reason why they suck. Say that they can't do blah, 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 blah. Don't just say the Cowboys suck and that's it. Give me a reason, and I'll go ahead and debate you with it. I will do that. But don't just come in just to be an ass, because I will just ban you. Yeah, Tampa Bay fumbled on the 5-yard line. Way to go, guys. We can still hope. We can only hope. Football family. Exactly, football family. Because football, before the anthem protests and all that that went on, it used to be football was the thing that brought everybody together, and I'm hoping we can get back to that. Sorry for my language, bothers my brother Mark. Oh, Victor, you're cool, man. Legend of Tweeter, okay. Eric, I am enjoying the fact that we actually have 3 games winning in a row. I know it wasn't exactly the best of competition, but I'll take 3 wins anytime, especially with the fact that we didn't have Zeke Elliott for those 3 games. The fact that we got those and at least righted the ship. Matlock, Anthony Brown had a couple good plays yesterday, and I think he'll be okay. It's just, you know what? It's a learning curve. You know, sometimes you have good seasons, bad seasons, and so on. I'm not ready to give up on the guy. Damn. You know it's bad when there's nobody else even in the picture for Julio Jones. I mean, he was so wide open. Ugh. Okay. Will the Panthers get a black owner? Well, that's a good question, but I doubt it. I tell you.
Who's that guy?
I think Vince McMahon. See, here's the thing. There's been some rumors about the good old XFL trying to get back, become relevant again. I got to tell you, if the NFL was smart, they'd get Vince McMahon to go ahead and buy the Panthers, because when you think about all of the wrestling fans that would come along board with him, you would end up having a...
Walter Payton, that's the one.
Walter Payton
tried to...
Walter Payton is dead.
No, but he was trying to be the first black...
Yeah, he tried, but he's been dead for about 12 years now.
I know, but he tried to own the team and they wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying... So, yeah.
A win is a win. All we need is W's and we can get it. Yeah. But unfortunately, we're going to need Atlanta to lose 2 games. Y'all got blown out by the Broncos. Could give, okay, well, at least you won. Yes. You know, it's so funny about you Eagle fans, man. You guys are so butthurt. You guys have won the division. You possibly could be the number 1 seed. You guys are doing great, yet you're worried about a lowly Cowboys blogger saying something bad about your poor team. Come on, man. Grow a pair. That's right, Ray. You know, Raymond, you got a great point there. A lot of people said we wouldn't win a game without Zeke. At least we got 3 without him. What is Tampa doing? Right now, Tampa is sucking. They're about to, looks like they're about to go down 21-7. So they were actually down in the red zone on the 5-yard line, fumbled the ball, and all of a sudden changed the momentum. That's what I always say, because a lot of people say, well, Dak Prescott, you know, he doesn't throw the ball deep. He doesn't do this, that, and the other, but he doesn't turn the ball over much, because turnovers are game changers. Because right now, this game could have been tied up 7-7, because, you know, Tampa Bay was feeling good about themselves. They were down there on the 5-yard line. Instead, they fumble. Now Atlanta's got new life. They're about to now go down and be up 21-7. Turnovers, it's truly game changers. Screw the Eagles. Um, Yo, dog, what's up? Cleveland Brown. I'm just happy we got a win last night, and it was definitely in doubt. More like 14-14. It would have been 14-14 had they scored. Um, we don't hang division banners in Dallas Philly fans. Okay. Yeah, we turned it over 2 times yesterday, but we still are on the plus side, at least in turnover ratio. But you notice those turnovers did make a difference in the game. That's Joe Boo for Sportscaster of the Year. Thanks, Raymond. I appreciate that. Cowboys are going to, I agree with you. I believe that the Cowboys are going to win the next 2 games. Again, the Eagles aren't going to be playing for anything. It'll be kind of like us at the end of last year. Um, see, it's just beat up right now, and just watching the game over here, throwing in the end zone. Where's my Jason Garrett jersey? It's not a Jason Garrett jersey. Thank you very much. Skandrick is overrated. I think Skandrick is on his last leg here in Dallas. I think he's actually going to be one of those cuts on the team. When you look at the young guys that we've drafted and things like that, they're going with the youth movement. So I think Skandrick, this is his last go round. Well, Tampa Bay made a stop. At least they held them to a field goal. But, it would have been a lot nicer had they gotten in the end zone instead of fumbling the damn ball. Robert, yeah, Des Bryant is overrated. Yeah. Unfortunately, players get old. Players get injured. And the thing is what happens in your mind is you think that players are the players they were before. We think about Des Bryant 3-4 years ago dominating. Still to this day, people will say, oh man, we should have DeMarcus Ware back, because you're thinking about DeMarcus Ware 4 or 5 years ago, who was totally dominating the field. But that's not the same guy that is now. Players get old, they get slower, they start having more and more nagging injuries, and it's harder and harder to produce. The numbers go down. When Des Bryant signed his contract, I brought up this and people said I'm an idiot, pay the man. But when you looked at Megatron, when he signed his new deal, when you looked at Larry Fitzgerald, both of them signed over $100 million contracts. You look at the numbers went up here, they got the contract, then they started slowly going downhill. Now, it's not to say that Larry Fitzgerald still isn't a good receiver, but he's not making the plays like 28. Is doing time is catching up, and other time is undefeated. That's why you have to understand, when you look at a team like New England, what New England does really well is New England gets guys in the draft early, gets them playing early, and when it comes time to pay them, select the ones that they know are key parts, but they'll let the other guys go. And they will end up using those draft picks or some of those free agents, that they're signing that are really, really young, and they'll end up bringing those guys in, having them take the place. Because you'll notice, injuries don't bother New England. They can lose Gronk for a while. They can have Tom Brady suspended for a couple of games, but he's always got players that are ready to fill in. If you look at the top players that he pays on his roster, there's hardly anybody that's anywhere close to $10 million a year. You looked at us, you had like 8 guys that were taking up $80 million, half of your salary cap, which is great to have Tyron Smith and, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, and those guys. But the problem is then you have no money to try and spend to have guys that will be there to take over. And if this season hasn't taught us anything, it is that you better have good backups when your key guys go out. You can't rely on a Chaz Green to take over. No sound? Oh, lost connection. Okay. Wow. Sound is Better. Okay, for some reason, my Mevo disconnected. We lost the Wi-Fi signal. Forgive me. Okay. Okay, you can still hear me? Good. Okay. For whatever reason, it dropped out there for a second. Hopefully, you guys should still hear me. Um, okay, cleared up. The problem is I can't tell if it clears up or not. So hopefully, it has cleared up and we're still online. Cutting in and out and it's far away. Let me do one quick adjustment here because it seems like we lost the Wi-Fi for whatever reason. Yeah, this is why I have to upgrade some of my equipment and things. Let's see. Hear me? Okay. For whatever reason, let's keep. There we go. The feed on my phone, which is actually how this thing goes through. This camera is incredible when it works, but the problem is it needs to be hooked up to basically a gaming computer, and I need to get some special software to do it, so that way it's not through the cell phone. So apologize for that little hiccup there. But what we have to do in the future is, and part of that was beginning to clear out some of those salaries. You got rid of Tony Romo's. We've got $9 million left that's going to be on the cap for this year that we're going to have to deal with, but then that's gone. But you've got guys like Tyrone Crawford that are $10 million this year. You've got guys like Orlando Scandrick, I believe he's $5 million. You've got Des Bryant, who's $16.5 million. So when you look at these guys, all of a sudden you start adding those contracts together. You've got $40 million worth of contracts of guys that aren't really producing. If you were able to spend some of that $40 million on guys that are producing, if you can get yourself a game-breaking wide receiver, if you go ahead and get yourself a good swing tackle who's proven, when a Tyron Smith goes down, you're not going from a Pro Bowler to a guy who's barely on an NFL roster. When you have a Sean Lee that gets hurt, because Sean Lee, a lot of people say we need to move on from Sean Lee, but here's the thing. Sean Lee, right now, his contract is still team friendly. And if you get 10 games out of him, he's going to make a difference. But if you can get a good guy, another like Hitchens type of player that can play when Sean Lee's not there, you're in better shape, because it's not about having 22 great players, because you're not going to have all 22 of those guys. You're going to lose some. It's the natural order of the NFL. It's about having 53 guys that can all play. You look at New England, almost every single guy on that roster gets on the field. So that's where we have to start looking at. We bring in talent. We have top flight guys, but we have to have valuable people below. Right now you got Dak Prescott, but a lot of people say, "Oh, Cooper Rush, he's great," but I'm sorry, Cooper Rush, he's got no experience. Cooper Rush, he might do okay, but I'm not sure to say if you lose Dak Prescott that he's going to be a guy that's going to carry you through the season. We learned that lesson with Tony Romo when he got hurt. Right. There you go, J Farm. You got a great point. Funny how Pittsburgh can have the most expensive offensive lineman, top 5 defense, a elite wide receiver, running back, and quarterback, 2 game-breaking number 2s and number 3s, and still have cap money. And see, again, that's because what the Cowboys did, and I don't blame Tony Romo for this. This was cap problems from Jerry Jones. What Jerry Jones always did was, it doesn't matter if we're over the cap, we'll just restructure. And the problem is you kept restructuring Tony over and over and over again to get more money. Eventually, that bill's coming due, and that's why we paid $14 million this year and $9 million next year of dead money for Tony Romo, because you paid that money to other guys. The good thing, at least for once, we are going into an off season where we're not over the cap. Normally, we got to get to the end of the season and purge to get down to the cap number. This year, we got $15 million right now. Normally we are in the red 20 to $26 million. So that's the beginning process of getting this thing together. And that's where I say you're going to end up looking at some other players. You say, Des Bryant, we can't pay him $60.5 million. You make him a June 1st cut, or if you were able to trade him, you're not getting a ham sandwich for him. But if you were to make him a June 1st cut, it's only $4 million of dead money. All of a sudden, you got $12.5 million to work on getting other players. And that's where we have to start looking at. It's not about being loyal to players, because we've been that route where we overpaid Miles Austin for one good year. We overpaid Marion Barber. We gave him $45 million, and he was only a part-time running back. Jay Radcliffe, DeMarcus Ware, Tony Romo. We had all these big, fat contracts because Jerry Jones was loyal to these guys, want to make sure they stayed there. But unfortunately, that's not how you win in the NFL. You've got to go ahead and keep your cap in order. New England, you never hear about New England being cap hell. Yet they always seem to have good players on the team. And that's where we have to get. That's one of those things that we've got to work on in the offseason and get better with. So hopefully we'll take and we'll learn from our past mistakes, and we'll get better as time goes on. You want Orlando Brown? Okay. Well, Raymond, here's the thing. We say, who do we use our first round pick on? Do we get a wide receiver? Here's the good thing, at least. You go through and you look at the best player available, because we have needs really almost everywhere. If there's a great safety out there, you take a great safety, because that's where I think our defense needs. And for years, our defense has been lacking of spending money and really going after players. This year was the first year we actually focused on defense in the draft, which was great, but we have been under budgeting the defense for so long. We still have a long ways to go to catch up. We do need a game-breaking wide receiver. We're going to need to get a tight end later on in the draft. We need another elite offensive lineman who's a swing tackle. Maybe you go free agency, pick up a great guy. We definitely need a linebacker, and I believe we need a safety. So you look at it and say, okay, what's the best player? What's the best bang I can get for my buck in this draft? And make that decision on it. Snapchat, we absolutely need a wide receiver, without a doubt. We do need a game breaker, and if you have a great one there, you take him. No, Taco hasn't made, well, actually, nobody's made Jack in the backfield. We didn't get a single sack there yesterday. The last 2 weeks, we haven't been getting very many sacks. Did we sack Eli? I think we got one sack maybe last week, and none yesterday. So it's not just Taco, it's the whole defensive line. Snap, I have to agree with you on that one. And the problem is because we don't have one guy who is a game changer, you need a guy who is a game changer. He makes all the rest of the guys better. That's where when DeMarcus Lawrence was beasting out there, you saw everybody else kind of taking another step up, because you need a guy who's going to take the focus off of the other ones. Cowboys X Factor. I don't know if Jobu had anything to do with that index card, man. I'm just glad he folded it. I think Dak can launch it if you got a receiver who can go out there and catch it. I don't think we've not had a lot of separation. Very rarely do you see our wide receivers wide open, and Dak Prescott's missed them. There was Shane. There was a lot of holding calls that weren't called, of course, for the Cowboys. There were a couple of them where he's running and the guys behind him is still holding on to him. Anthony Miller wouldn't be a bad pick for Memphis. How many rings do Dak, Zeke, and Bryant get combined? I'm not sure that Des Bryant is going to be part of the team next year, so I don't know that you put him in that equation. Yeah, right now Tampa Bay is not doing too good. 44 seconds left. You got 17-7, so that hope for Tampa Bay is not looking good right now. Raymond, let's see how Dak does with Zeke back again, and I think he will. Just keep in mind that this is only his second season. You know, you're talking about a guy who's got over 50 touchdowns already in 2 years. Yeah, I will give him benefit of the doubt because you don't normally get young quarterbacks, young quarterbacks that do what he's done already. Rico Gathers is not going to play this year. They basically he's eligible to come back, but they basically said that they're going to shut him down till next year. I'm just wondering how bad was that concussion that he had. Russ, I think they're going to end up drafting. Of course, here's the thing. I think they're going to go wide receiver before they go defense again. They're going to look at it and say, you know, we went all defense last year. TL Craig, I won't say Taco's a bust just yet. You know, a lot of people will compare him with TJ Watt, but TJ Watt has had about twice the number of plays. So when you look at TJ Watt having 5 sacks and all that, he's had twice the stats that Taco has. Now, Taco only has 2, but I'm not going to be ready to say that that's a bust just yet. Win, I win $255. Damn, it's your fault, Brandon, because you want him to. We have wide receivers you like to play. Yeah, I love Cole Beasley and stuff, but Cole Beasley needs a true number one. What do we do with Des Bryant's contract? You can try and trade him, but nobody's going to trade for a Des Bryant at $16.5 million a season. And I doubt that Des Bryant's going to want to take a pay cut to stay here. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but very few people do a Doug Free and take a pay cut and stay. You know, DeMarcus Ware didn't want to take a pay cut. He said, you can restructure me so you'll give me a check now and kick it down the road, but I'm not taking a pay cut. And I don't think Des Bryant's going to. So what ends up happening is you make him a June 1st cut, and in which case you only have $4 million of that contract you eat. Sarah, I'm with you on that. People, yeah, it's amazing how people will just give up on a guy so quick before they even have a chance, before a career even starts. Yeah, people are, you know, we're ready to give up on Dak Prescott after the first bad game that he had, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, people last year giving up on DeMarcus Lawrence because of the back and everything else. Of course, this year he turns it around. So give people a chance, man. Um, Odell to Dallas. No, thank you. I don't want that kind of attitude. Um, I would take Rod Smith over Alfred Morris if you used him the right way. I don't believe what the Cowboys are doing with Alfred Morris and Rod Smith is the way to do it. You know, the fact that they'll go ahead and say, okay, Alfred Morris, you're getting 2 series or 3 series, then we're going to go with Rod Smith on every down. I think you would be better served having Alfred Morris as a first, second down back, and so on. And then you end up bringing Rod Smith as a third down back because he's a better pass catcher. And I think that that would be more of a change up there, and that he would better serve. But, you know, they believe in playing one running back completely for series. I think you need to change up between first, second down, and third down. Film productions. Looks like my batteries are dying. Okay, so what that's telling me is no sound, no sound. Sorry. Okay, it should be back. No sound, no sound, no sound, no sound. Okay. Batteries died. Audio, no sound. Okay. This sounds like it is the time to end the show then, guys. I apologize. But it is 10 o'clock. There's still time for me to become an Eagle fan. Sorry, I'm not going to become an Eagle fan. Okay, it's good. Better. Okay. No, what happens is these actually run off of AA batteries, and the battery is literally dying on me. So, with that being said, it's 10 o'clock. I got to go to work tomorrow. And I want to thank everybody for joining in and being part of the show. Unfortunately, it looks like Tampa Bay is not going to help us out tonight, but it is what it is. So, guys, thank you guys for being in here, being part of the show, and supporting the channel. And again, if you want to be part of the raffle, go up to the little blue P that's up on top of the channel there. And if you make a donation or if you do a super chat, and I'll check and see if anybody did super chats, I'm going to enter you in the raffle for next week. But as always, friends, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Booth Sports Report. And keep on spreading the mojo. And I'll see you soon.